everybody, I hope your week's off to a great start. Today I wanted to talk about a new mascara from Smashbox. I've actually had this for a couple of weeks. It's called the X-Rated Mascara. It claims to be a volumizing formula. It also claims to be long wearing. It says it will give you micro-defined separation. I'm actually wearing the Smashbox X-Rated on one side and the CoverGirl Supersizer on the other side, so maybe as I go throughout my review you can try to tell which side's which is the drugstore, which is the high-end side. It will definitely be revealed to you in my little demo as I apply them. And what's really kind of unique about this, first off, the tube. I think that's really cool. Very interesting and different packaging. But as far as the brush goes, it has 3 separate rows of bristles, and I actually drew a little diagram to show you what that's like because I was really struggling to get a good shot of this, a good close-up on camera. But you've got these bare spaces on the wand, and that does seem to be kind of a trend with mascaras these days. So I thought I would compare that to another mascara that has a similar concept, and that's the CoverGirl Supersizer. And as you may know if you keep up with my videos, this is my current favorite mascara. I think it gives great length, great separation, really a lot of the same claims that this one has, so I thought it would be really interesting to compare the two. One key difference though, besides this one having rubber bristles and this one having more traditional bristles, the Supersizer actually only has 2 rows of bristles. But my point with this diagram is to show you that there's a lot of bare space on this wand and there's some bare space on this wand as well. And Smashbox in the claims didn't really talk about this a lot, but I know with the Supersizer, one thing that claims to do is to like hold some of the product so you can apply that to your lashes and then kind of twist the wand and comb through with the little comby part and then get that extended, lengthened out look. So I would assume it might be a goal of Smashbox's as well, by having those little wells in between the rows of bristles. It can hold some product and then the bristles can extend it out onto the lashes. I've had this mascara for a couple of weeks, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I tend to like a mascara a little bit better the more I use it. Sometimes if it started being a little too wet or a little too goopy, by a couple weeks in it's like a pretty good benchmark for me to tell me if I'm gonna start to maybe like it as it dries out a bit more. With this one it's really strange. I really liked it when I first got it. I thought the effect actually reminded me a lot of the Supersizer. I feel like every mascara tube has some sort of little internal mechanism that is cleaning off that wand and taking off a good amount of product so you can sweep it through the lashes. But I think somewhere in this tube there is product collecting, and instead of getting cleaner and cleaner every time, this brush is getting more gunked up with product every time I take it out. I mean, if you look closely you can see there's a lot of product in what we'll call those little wells between each of the 3 rows of bristles, but then just on the bristles themselves, you know, there's a lot of product in between those also. And I know some will say, well, the solution to that is just to blot it off on a tissue, get rid of the excess product and go at it. But I don't like to have to do that because I feel like this is not functioning the way it should. For a product that claims such amazing separation, you know, I shouldn't be pulling out a brush that has this much on it because there's no way it's going to separate with that much product to work with. The formula seems pretty thick and creamy. It doesn't seem especially wet like, say, a Maybelline Great Lash, but one other note about it is I can see the little like microfibers. They look like a teeny tiny piece of hair that's going to extend onto your lashes and lengthen them out further. So it's just an issue with product overload. It affects the way it applies onto the lashes. For me, it definitely affects the way this mascara holds the curl because I tend to get too much product on. It weighs the lashes down really more than it did in the early days using this mascara. That's why I really wonder if the people who created this, like, how long did they actually test it? You know, how many days and weeks did they go on to use it? Because I could see it being a great mascara at the start because it was for me. It lengthened out better, it separated better, it held the curl better, and then as time went on, it just started getting more and more gunked up. And with the Supersizer, when this comes out of the tube, you know, it also has those bare sides to the brush that could potentially hold a lot of product if it wasn't getting cleaned off properly as it was pulled out of the tube. But I mean, it's a very clean brush. You see no clumps on it. So in my demo, I wanted to show you both how these mascaras went on, but also my eye look, which is very, very simple, and I kind of came upon it it as I was traveling over the weekend, and a couple times just wanted a really quick look to throw on so I wouldn't spend forever doing my makeup. And so here's my little tip. I use my Milani Shadow Eyes in Almond Cream. I just dabbed this on my lids and blended it out with a brush, and you've got kind of a nicely concealed, evened out lid. I also use this pencil on the lower inner rim. It really widens the eye and brightens. Then I used my Laura Mercier Matte Radiance. It's in the shade Highlight 01. I did wedding makeup on several people, including the beautiful bride and myself, and I just thought this was a fabulous highlight because it's so buildable. I was working on different skin types. Some people had more oily skin, and I felt like I was really able to even out their face first, apply a little bit of this. They never looked greasy. They just looked like they had this nice soft glow. And so in a pinch, like I said, as I was hurrying around just doing quick makeup on myself throughout the weekend, I realized that this can make a great quick eyeshadow as well. Not that you couldn't use other highlights. You might have other champagne colored shadows. And so I would call this look like eye strobing, basically, because I don't do any kind of contour to the crease. I didn't pull in any dark shades. I just spotlighted my eye in 3 key areas with this. So I just used one brush. It's my Sonia Kashuk medium shadow brush, dabbed into this product, patted it on the lid first. That's the first zone to kind of highlight. And then I also place this around the inner corner. If you get those dark caverns on the inner parts of your eye, that's a great place to highlight. And then you get a beautiful effect if you dab this just under the brow. I mean, I just love the way that kind of finishes the brow and sort of lifts the eye. It's just a nice, quick, natural look. And something I've learned over the years is when I'm demonstrating a mascara in a video for a review, I don't want to have a lot of distracting liner and different shadows on my lids, so you can really see what the mascara is doing. So anyway, that was a great little thing to use. Then as you can see, it's my left eye that's sporting the Smashbox X-Rated Mascara. Again, pulling the wand right out of the tube. It's got a lot of product on there, and just to try to help this product out a little bit, I did blot off some of the excess on a tissue, but I just felt like my lashes got overloaded very, very quickly. Also, the little press package claimed that the product was super buildable, and I feel like, okay, I try to add a little bit more, thinking maybe more swipes through my lashes will give me more separation, more thickness, more length. The length I can't really argue with, but the more I swiped through, the more they really just stuck together, my lashes, and I looked like I had fewer than I really have when it was all said and done. And I did curl my lashes first, but I do blame the weight of this product for straightening them out rather quickly. I applied this on my lower lashes as well, and I have tested this on my lower lashes, and I notice occasional smudging. It's kind of inconsistent. Some days I'll see it, some days I won't. Now on my other eye, I just wanted to give you a little frame of reference with my CoverGirl Supersizer. Like I said, my current front runner mascara, and it also has that design to the brush where there are some bare places that hold a little bit of product, but then you can comb through it with the other sides. And talk about separating the lashes. I truly feel like you're seeing every lash that I have, but it's lengthening them out. It really is holding the curl better than the other side and staying power throughout the day. I mean, I'm not having any smudging or flaking. Both sides feel really nice and soft, but I just feel like the lashes over here are so much more separated and kind of fluttery. And here I feel like I'm seeing the look of less lashes, and they're just a little bit more like drooping down. But that was my experience, and I would say save yourself the money, get yourself the Supersizer, because it really gives the best look to the lashes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.